Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ritche again, one of your co-hosts from the Functional Health Summit, and we actually have the Functional Health Summit coming up again April 14th through 21st, so mark your calendars for that. Today, I am really pleased to have Erin Nielsen with us. Erin, believe it or not, is actually a 41-year-old mother. We'll let the cat out of the bag right out of the gate, so she's over 40. She's a physical therapist. She has worked in the physical therapy field now for over 17 years, and she told me recently that a lot of times she sets foot in patients' homes and they think she's just out of school. So that's a compliment to how healthy and young you have stayed looking, and that's really one of the things we're going to want to talk to you about. So welcome, Erin. If you want to fill in, just kind of give us a little bit of the background on kind of your history in the physical therapy field, fitness, and kind of what you've been doing.
Yes, so you were right. I've been a physical therapist for about almost 18 years now. It'll be 18 years in May, which is just crazy to me. I can't believe it's been that long. And funnily enough, like you explained, I still have to kind of prove my skills because I walk into patients' homes and they're like, "Did you just graduate? I want a more experienced therapist." So I have to explain to them that I've been doing this for almost 18 years. I know my stuff and give me a chance. It's a good thing and a bad thing. So other than being a physical therapist, I'm also a certified Pilates instructor, which has been very beneficial throughout the years in my physical therapy practice because it's really great for posture and transforming your body and, just giving you better balance as well.
Great.
I recently just became certified as a primal blueprint expert, which is just basically a nutrition and exercise philosophy that really changed the way I eat and look at food. So that's kind of my background.
Cool, cool. Well, let's jump right in because I know obviously people are going to kind of want to learn your secret to youthful looking and staying young and vibrant. And obviously, it's nice to have somebody say, "Hey, you must have just got out of school," and you realize, "No, I got out of school a long time ago," right? So I mean, you're in your early 40s now, and you said there are people that still think you're in your 20s, which
Mhm.
is that's great. So I mean, how do you explain that? I mean, is there evidence behind that? Is it just good fortune? You're using some kind of amazing skin products? I mean, kind of give us some of the science behind your secret.
Um, I think I think all along from when I was really young, my mom gave some great tips to try to stay young, like one being staying out of the sun, always washing your face at night, things like that. But I think what has made the biggest difference is just the overall way I treat my body, which hasn't always been perfect. I had some struggling years in college and afterwards. But over the years, I've just realized through trial and error, really, what works for me and what doesn't. Struggled a lot with bad eating habits, a lot of processed food, easy food here and there, a lot of guilt with not exercising enough, on and off, would do really good and then not so good. So I think I finally just got to a point where I realized what worked for me. And then I actually started noticing that I was looking younger. So I had probably started to look older as I was doing these bad decisions. And then when I started making the better decisions, I actually somewhat saw a reverse in my aging, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yes. I
So
think I think what attributes to it the most is definitely exercise regularly, but it doesn't have to be long exercise and proper nutrition. So one of the biggest things I changed was just reducing a lot of my sugar because like most of us know, some of us don't. Sugar causes inflammation, which inflammation causes wrinkles and free radical damage in your skin. So
so big tip there. Less sugar in your diet.
less sugar in my diet. Yep. And shorter workouts. A lot of people don't realize that the long workouts, more than 30 minutes, can actually cause free radical damage in your body as well. It's just too much for the body to deal with. It actually produces hormones that can cause aging and stress. And one of the other things too is like really long, boring cardio where you're on the treadmill all the time. It's really, really bad for your joints. It actually has a 3 times higher impact on your joint each time your foot hits the treadmill. not good for your joints. And it's something I've seen throughout my years of physical therapy that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried to stop.
So I want to spend a few more minutes on that because I'm sure some people were thinking, well, she probably just works out all the time. That's how she stays young looking, right? And actually, what you're saying is it's the opposite. You don't work out all the time. So you're not working out an hour, hour and a half every day.
No, I work out 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day. Okay.
10 minutes a day, and only 5 days a week. So it's 50 minutes a week.
10 minutes. That's it. Seriously.
Seriously.
Okay.
And I've gotten better results with that than anything I've ever tried. I used to do cardio for like 2 hours a day and got no results. And now I'm getting these amazing results.
So 10 minutes a day plus you go run for like 3 miles, right?
No, just 10 minutes. But I will tell you that 10 minutes is intense, but it's for those short bursts. You can do anything for 10 minutes and you stick with it because you can find the time to do it. And that's the most valuable exercise program is if you stick with it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I've found over the years.
Well, I had to hit that a couple times because I know there are some people out there that are like, no way, she works out more than 10 minutes. She must run or cycle or she swims or, she does yoga for an hour or something. So 10 minutes,
10 minutes.
5 days a week. So that's really pretty amazing. And
Yes.
I'm sure you're going to share some of the secrets of the intensity in that with us because I want to delve into that. But let's talk a little bit about what you said because I bring this up to people a lot because I see a lot of people come into our physical therapy side of our business. I think unfortunately, and I think it's because they run too much or they bike too much or they do these repetitive things too much. So you mentioned running on the treadmill and impact forces and how that ages our body really prematurely. So it's sort of like, but wait a minute, we're doing a good thing for ourselves and exercising, but we're doing a bad thing for ourselves. So just talk a little bit more about kind of the what I call the hamster wheel of exercise, right? It's like we get on the treadmill every day, run for 30 minutes, get on the elliptical, run for an hour, and repeat it, right? It's like this hamster wheel that never ends. So as a physical therapist, give us your opinion on that.
Well, over the years, because of that mindset, I mean, the government tells us to exercise between 150 to 300 minutes a week. And the longer you do it, the better. And it's just not true. It actually really frustrates me. And that's why everybody's exhausted and they have joint problems. And it's why I see so many total hip and total knee replacements because people have just been told the wrong thing over all these years. So if I could stress anything, it's that it's the quality of the exercise, not the length of time. Okay, so it's intensity with the right amount of time is going to give you the best results. If you can do that, you are going to spare yourself aging of your skin because there's not going to be all this extra free radical damage in your body caused by the stress of long, boring cardio routines. And you're going to just get better overall fat burning results because when you do that long, boring cardio, your body wants to hold on to the fat. It's like you're just putting too much stress on the body. So it's like, I've got to retain this. I need to help my body. It's just not going to work for you. So if I can help you to reduce any injuries in the future and from having like a knee replacement or a hip replacement, stop the long cardio, stop the prolonged running on the treadmill. It's not that you can't do sprints here and there, but it needs to be for short amounts of time on the treadmill, not for more than a half an hour. I wouldn't even recommend up to a half hour. I would say sprints for like 20 seconds and rest for 30 seconds for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, high intense. People don't want to do sprints for half an hour. So
no.
You mentioned it because I hear some people say this. They think, well, I'll just play hard in my 30s and 40s, and if I have to get my hip replaced when I'm in my 60s, that's fine because those things work great. So it doesn't sound like you're a huge advocate for, sign me up for a hip replacement.
Yeah, I think it's very hard on the body. Once you do have a hip or a knee replacement, though they're wonderful and they have helped a lot of people and made their lives a lot better, it still limits you. There's certain things that you can and can't do with the hip and knee replacements. And it's just a lot of agony and pain to go through that is not needed. I mean, the rehab for both of those is pretty extensive and it can be very painful. So it's just not worth it.
You get to put people through a lot of pain. Let's be honest. You get to put people through pain. I know what you do. So you to help people get better, you got to put them through some hard work. So
It's hard.
I had an ACL reconstruction, and the physical therapist was like, I'm like, this is like licensed torture, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
like, it's hard work. It's a lot of pain. So
exactly. And that's
it's
what I say
hard.
to people, because something like an ACL tear, you don't have control over that. You're doing sports. I mean, it's something you want to do, but you have control over making your joints age faster. So
Yeah.
why make them age faster if you don't have to? And if there's a better, less time constrained way to get fit.
Yeah.
Because
Right. That. Yeah.
we're all strapped for time.
Right. That's the big one. Yeah. If you don't have to take an hour, why would you? So, well, let's talk about why, some of the science behind that, so, because I know some people are like, yeah, this can't be true. 60 minutes has to be better than 10, I mean, so talk about, some of the exercise post oxygen consumption and the human growth
Yes.
hormone factors. I mean, how does that play into, an intense 10 minutes versus a moderate 60 minutes?
Right. So what you had just mentioned, the excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or what we like to say EPOC,
Hmm.
it's basically when you do those short burst, high intensity workouts for about 10 minutes, there's really great research that shows it increases what they call your afterburn by up to 36%. So that means for like every minute, you're burning 36% more calories. That's just like crazy. And it lasts up to 38 hours after you do that high intensity workout. So if you think about it, you do your workout in the morning and all day long while you're driving, you're sleeping, you're picking up your kids from school, you're burning 36% more calories. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
So that does not happen with long boring cardio, because your body's just put through too much stress for too long. So that afterburn is just not there. The other great thing, and I think this is what's helped me to stay young these past couple of years, help my skin, help me actually feel like I was reversing my aging, was the increase in human growth hormone that occurs when you do these high intensity workouts. It actually increases by up to 450%, which
Wow.
is just crazy. Yeah. So this hormone not only gives you lean, longer muscles, but it actually is called the youth hormone. So
Hmm.
it fights free radicals. It gives you younger looking skin. So who doesn't want that?
And you get that it's not the 10 minutes so much, it's the intensity, right? It's
Yes.
the intense.
It's the intensity and the time, because if you did that too long,
Yeah.
it would start to have the adverse effect. It would start to be too stressful on your body. Your body would start to produce more stress hormones, which have the absolute opposite effect of what the human growth hormone has. So the
Right,
key
which
is the
actually
with the
contributes to storing fat, right? Which is
yep,
why so many people, I think, that overexercise struggle with losing weight because they're overstressed, right?
yeah, they're
Yeah.
overstressed. So when you stress alone without an increase in that long boring cardio will help you retain fat. But if you do those really long boring cardio, that also increases your cortisol. So it's like double whammy. That's why you see people with the bellies, because they can't get rid of the fat. Too much stress in their life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely are an overstressed society. There's no doubt about that. So let's talk just briefly before we get in, because I want to ask you a little bit about, so what's a 10-minute workout look like? But tell us a little bit about nutrition, because obviously that has to play a huge role in terms of feeling youthful, staying youthful, looking youthful. Just explain to us a little bit about your nutritional habits and some of the changes you'd suggest people make.
Yep. The biggest one I mentioned already, it's reducing your sugar. And when I say that, a lot of people I think thinks, oh, I have to give up all the yummy, great food out there. What I promote is not a starvation diet by any means. I eat more now than I ever used to. I used to, in my days of bad decisions, used to eat like all processed food, really low fat, because that's what I thought would make me feel better and make me look better. But I always felt awful. I was always hungry and just felt exhausted all the time. So now what I do and promote is try to have protein and vegetables at every meal. Um, I think that's like that's the easiest way to explain it. But make sure that you're also getting with that a lot of healthy fats. So olive oil, avocados. Fat is not your enemy. Fat will help you burn fat. And that was something I had to get over because I was always the low fat girl. Oh, don't eat anything with fat in it. It'll make you fat, So it's a hard hump to get over, but once you do and you see the results, it's pretty amazing. One of the things too is it's hard for a lot of people to want to eat vegetables at breakfast.
Yeah.
So at that time of the day, I usually just suggest to try to eat the lower sugar fruits like berries. Berries are your best choice, but there are anything, apples, whatever you want, whatever you enjoy. And then try to at least have veggies at your lunch and dinner.
Okay.
So
pretty simple, protein and vegetables, stuff people have probably heard before, but they don't want to believe.
yeah.
But yeah,
But also indulge once in a while.
Yeah.
I do say that. Like usually I make Sunday kind of my indulgence day, and I'll have a little cup or two of ice cream or whatever your thing is that you love. I usually do that on a Sunday. I think that's important. But also, I have dark chocolate every day for dessert because dark chocolate's great for you. So it's not that you have to deprive yourself. You just kind of have to change your mindset a little bit.
So a cup or two of ice cream, I smiled at that because it just makes me think of Jim Gaffigan talking about eating the whole carton. But so you indulge in moderation, right?
Yes, yeah. And it's actually good for your body to have that once in a while so that what they call your leptin levels in your body don't dip too low, because when that happens, your body will also hold on to fat. If you're perfect all the time with your eating, it's actually good to kind of slightly recarb your body so that your body doesn't think, it doesn't feel like the leptin levels are too low. So
okay,
that's a little more scientific than maybe you were hoping for, but
no, that's fine because now I'll have to ask the question. So what do you mean by leptin levels? For people that are like, well, I've never heard of leptin. Now she's dropped that word on us. So if my leptin levels drop too low, what does that mean? And what
if your leptin levels drop too low, your body actually ends up wanting to hold on to fat.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to not monitor them, but you need to modulate those by sometimes having a little indulgence and kind of giving your body a little extra carbs, because most of the time your carb levels are going to be lower. So one day a week, I usually have a cheat dessert or a cheat meal to make sure that my leptin levels are staying regular and not dipping down too low, so my body won't hang on to that fat.
Gotcha. Okay. Great. So it's not like you have to deprive yourself for the rest of your life. You're not saying go sugar-free forever or anything like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And you can, like I said, if you can I have about 1 to 2 ounces of dark chocolate every night.
Every night?
It's so good for you.
Okay.
I'll either do dark chocolate covered almonds, just like maybe 4 to 5, or like if you get a little dark chocolate bar, you just have 2 to 3 of the little squares off of it, and so you never feel deprived. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, before we get off here, just give us an idea, because I know some people are like, seriously, a 10-minute workout. I mean, most people are like, I warm up for 10 minutes, right? So I cool down for 10 minutes, which I think is, both of those are too long. But so, I mean, how long do you warm up before you start to work out? Do you warm up for a few minutes and then go hard for 10? I mean, give us an idea what a 10-minute workout looks like for you.
Yeah, so usually what I recommend is obviously don't get right out of bed and try to go do your 10-minute workout. Make sure you've been up and your muscles are warmed up and primed a little bit. If you do want it, like for me, I do it first thing in the morning because that's just when I don't have excuses to not do it, because I'll find every excuse in the book later in the day. Oh, I've got too much to do. So what I do is I just get up, I walk around the house a couple of laps, get my muscles warmed up, and then I go right into the 10-minute workout. And again, the 10-minute workout is intense, and it's all your body weight exercises. So you don't need any equipment. So you can do it in the comfort of your home. I actually do it in my living room. And you can just do it right there. What I request people to do is to try to work as hard as you can and get as many repetitions done. And there's, in my workout, there's a repetition for each exercise. Try to do that as quickly as you can, but in a safe manner, and try not to rest in between each exercise. Now, obviously, if you're a beginner, I have modifications and things like that, but that's basically what my workout consists of, is really hard. Try to do them fast, but with good form for a full 10 minutes without rest.
Cool. Okay. So, I mean, that sounds doable. Not easy, but most people can do something hard for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think if anyone's a beginner, like when I first started doing it, I had to take rests. I could not do every exercise without a rest. And it's really just four exercises, usually 1 to 2 times through. So if you're a beginner, you might only get through the four exercises once.
Okay.
If you're more advanced, you get through them 2 times. Um, and that's kind of a neat way because I saw myself as I was doing the exercise that I was getting better and better, and I could do more and more, and that's a really great feeling. So you're seeing that improvement, and then you're also seeing the improvement in your body, which is just so great. And it's only 10 minutes, and you're just the guilt's gone. And I think that was my biggest thing is I always felt so guilty not finding the time. And so it would be that vicious cycle of, oh, I didn't work out and now I feel guilty and now, now I'm going to go have ice cream instead. So now that guilt's gone and you can just get done and get on with your day. So I love it.
Okay, well, I'm going to put you on the spot because I know we've got some people watching here that are saying, "Okay, I'm intrigued. Can I get you to share one of your workouts with me so I can share that with my viewers?"
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What do you mean? You want me to send it over or what?
Yeah, yeah. You just email me over one of your, I would say, beginner to intermediate. I don't want to kill anybody watching this interview, but send me over one of your beginner to intermediate 10-minute workouts, and I'll send that out to them, compliments of you, and
Great.
they can check that out and say I survived Erin's 10-minute workout. So, claim to fame, So, and I'll try it too, so I can tell all my viewers, hey, I'm doing this with you. So
I
that,
think you'll love it.
that'd be cool if you could send that over. So I've got a link below where people can check out more about you and your whole Toned in 10 fitness program. Which honestly, Erin, there's far too many people that aren't exercising at all.
Hmm.
Just far too many people. I mean, the statistics are overwhelming. The number of people that exercise none, and
Right.
then unfortunately, there's too many people that are exercising too much.
Right.
And instead of reducing stress in their life, they're actually adding to it. And they're just not working out efficiently, right? They're either working out too long or they're just not getting good results. So
Right.
so I think this really kind of steps into a need that we have because there are so many people out there that are too busy, to go to the gym, to join a gym. And I own a gym, and I tell people you don't need a gym. In
No.
fact, in fact, a gym has never gotten anybody in shape in the history of gyms. And I keep saying this, and people are like, "You need to stop saying that." But it just never has, right? I mean, you get fit by doing the right programs in the right progressive way, and you can do that
Right.
anywhere.
Yep.
Gyms just provide a place to do it, which is great. But I want people hearing this to realize Erin doesn't go to a gym. She's
Mhm.
not doing any sort of, super fancy equipment at home or, some sort of magical Pilates or anything like that. It's 10-minute workouts, and they'll keep you young looking, especially if you're doing the right nutritional things. So Erin, I like to do this with some of my guests. Basically, your closing thought. So either the really big thing you're working on in 2015, or just kind of a amazing thought you want to leave people with.
Um, I think probably the biggest thing I would want to tell people is once you turn 40, I think a lot of people just think their life's going to be over and they're just going to keep aging and they're just going to keep looking worse and oh, I'm just old now. It's so not the way it has to be. And if you have any guilty feelings like I have in the past about not working out, I really think 10 minutes a day you can do it. It'll make such a huge difference in your body, in your mindset. It actually gives you so much more energy as well, and in the way you look. I mean, you're gonna get comments like what'd you do? Did you have surgery? No, it was like, what's going on? You're gonna feel amazing. So your life doesn't have to be over. It's just beginning. This is like the fun part. Just have fun, do the exercises, and you're gonna look great.
I love that. This is the fun part. I love that. So
Yeah.
I'm turning 40 in a few months here. So so
See, we'll be
I'm
in the 40s together.
yep. I'm glad to hear the fun parts yet to come. So well, thanks, Erin, so much for doing this. Again, this has been Dr. Dan, one of your Functional Health Summit hosts, and we will have a link below if you want to learn more about Erin and her program. And watch tomorrow or the coming days for that free workout from Erin. She's going to send us over something super special, I'm sure. So thanks again
Very
for
much.
watching, everybody.
Thank you.